Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem. That's any Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, Bahashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahushua. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. The Lashdas from the tongue, and I say Barakatham to the elders and apostles, Wa'akim, Wa'akwaf, and I say Shalom. And this is a outside lesson I want to bring out the prophecy updates as of August 8th, 2026 on this Saturday morning. So hope this be edifying. This be a 5-verse immersion. Yahweh, Yahushua, and Yahweh, as always, for the campus about the holy angels and we're doing these outside lessons. This be a 5-verse immersion of Yahweh, Yahushua, and so you supposedly getting very close to this deal between Iran and Oman. And I think you had the foreign minister or the prime minister, I believe, was that earlier today, a couple of hours ago. News come from Al Jazeera. They Iran and the United States, they getting close back to the minimum other understanding of the deal. I think that's part of the Iran versus the Oman deal. That deal's getting very close to open up the Strait of Hormuz once again. And then you had the foreign minister of Iran was accusing the United States of violating the manner of the understanding of the deal, which they're going to get right back to. So, but you're still going to be seeing tensions heating up over there in the Middle East still, because you're still going to have those proxy wars, pro-Iranian groups still going against the Israel defense with their allies, especially over there in the Mediterranean Sea, in the Red Sea, the northern part and the southern part. Tensions are still going to heat up over there in that area. So you got the Houthi rebels, which is a pro-Iranian group, still going against the Israel Defense Force, and those allies over there in the area, and especially in particular Yemen and Saudi Arabia. Yemenese army forces governors going against the Houthi rebels, which is a pro-Iranian group. Hey, shalom to the brother Yawanathan. Hey, peace and blessing you or yours, your household, and I say shalom as always to you. So this is the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter. Matter of fact, Ecclesiasticus. Yeah, it's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3, verse 8. It says, in the time to love, in the time of HATE, and in time of war, in the time of peace. Right, so we're still in those times, the time of WAR, and the time of HATE, but that's still going to continue to increase, and that's what we see. So you got the Russia-Ukraine situation that's intensifying by the day. And you got the United States use 15% tariffs on China. So that's an indicator that this is heating up between China and the United States of economic war and these chip wars. And then you have that barrage of missiles, I think, from Russia. Because Russia, the United States, they saying that bill, it was supposedly commemorating, I think it was commemorating Lindsey Graham. It was like a Lindsey Graham bill that they used an economic sanction on Russia. They passed that bill already. That was coming after, I think, hours later, it was a nuclear strike from the Russians. And then the Russians are targeting Ukraine. And then you had, I think, Zelensky and this Ukrainian soldier, they was talking about they're going to stop using targeting air strikes on those oil facilities owned by the United States, after Trump had denied Zelensky some more Patriot missiles. Now, I don't know if he might consider that after they said they're going to stop using nuclear strikes over there in Ukraine. Ukraine has been doing to those oils that's been owned by the United States. So we're going to see if they're going to receive it. So that shows you that we're going to see if that's going to be pushed forward for them. But in the meantime, we're still going to be seeing wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Because we still in those times, we're still in the time of war, and we're still in the time of HATE, especially these modern wars that's taking place in the war, it's going to continue to increase. Even though it's been up and down back and forth, but it's going to continue to increase. And this is the book of Isaiah, chapter. These sanction wars, these economic sanction wars, these nuclear wars, it's still going to be heating up between these nations. So that's an indicator that the United States put economic sanctions on Russia once again, which they did previously. So this is like the second time they did it already. And I think they funded, what was that, like a couple months ago, like 2.5 months ago, this is recently. that they signed a deal. They gave $1 billion of military aid assistance to Ukraine. Now they asked for more Patriot missiles. But then they said sanctions on Russia the first time. Now they're doing once again the second time, as that bill was passed yesterday. So that's an indicator that the tension between Russia and the United States is still there, despite the fact that they've been having regional talks with one another. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 17. It says, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which they shall regard silver, and as gold, they shall be like heavy. Right, so that actually that's an indicator that the tension between Russia and the United States is going to continue to heat up. And this is out of the book of Isaiah 17, verse 1. You got to look about Isaiah 17, verse 1. It says, Isaiah 17, verse 1. It says, the burden of the masses, behold, the masses take away from the sea, and the tribute will be. Right, so the masses in Syria is still going to take away from the sea, tribute will be. And you're still going to have those proxy groups still going against the pro-Iranian groups and proxy groups together. They're going to be going against the Kurdistan armies and pro-Kurdistan armies. So I think what was that a couple of days ago, Saudi Arabia, they were talking about they're going to expect to respond to that from the pro-Kurdistan, the pro-Iranian groups out there in Iraq and Syria. They're going to go against the Saudi Arabia So that lets you know this is a future prophecy still going to come to pass in the field. This is Isaiah chapter 17, verse 9. It says, in that day shall his strong cities as you as forsaken in the awful words. Yeah, branch with the uttermost branch they left, because children of Israel shall be lessened. Right, so children of Israel shall be lessened. So this is a future prophecy that will come to pass in the field. This is the book of Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. It says, the prophets I have before thee, and before thee old prophets I both against many countries and great kingdoms, war, evil, and pestilence. Right, that's what he's saying. I'm saying these war, evil, and pestilence. He's going to continue to preach. Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 9. It says, the prophets prophesy peace, and when the word of the prophecy on the plans, it says, shall come to pass, and then shall be known that it hath sin. Right, then it shall be known that Heavenly Father has sin. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 46. Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 20. Yeah, Jeremiah 51, verse 46. It says, be your heart faint, fifth in the room that you heard in land, and a rumor should come both 1 year after that, another year should come in rumor. Violence land, ruler against ruler, right? So modern ruler against modern ruler is still going to take place. And that's what we're seeing. That goes back to that Matthew 24 chapter, wars and rumors of wars. So I'm going to get to Ezekiel the 38th chapter, because after the United States used those economic sanctions, they passed that Lindsey Graham bill that's to use those economic sanctions on Russia. Then Russia, a couple of hours later, they did that missile barrage on Ukraine. So that you know, the tension between the United States and Russia is going to get back up. Because ever since that nuclear treaty arms deal between Russia and the United States, and it expired back in February. So ever since then, the tension is going to get back up. But as of right now, they've been like economical sanctions. They've been using economical sanctions on Russia. It's going to get to a point where it's going to be nuclear sanctions, and it's going to be nuclear war is going to heat back up once again between Russia and the United States. That's why I brought out that Isaiah 13, verse 17. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, verse 4. It says, and I will turn thee back and put pushes in our jaws. I will bring thee forth from all thy all the ones forth with all sorts of armor, even a great couple bunch of shields, all the kind of swords. Right, so the prophet Ezekiel was mentioned that the Heavenly Father is going to continue to put that warlike mindset. These are armies of the army of the nation of the Russians, which represents the bear in Ezekiel 38th chapter. This is Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 5. Right, so still got alliance between Russia and Iran. Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 5, it says, Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with all of them the shield of him. This is Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 6, it says Gomer, which is modern day Turkey. It says, now his man's isotopal of the no quarters, now his man's people. Ezekiel 38 verse 7, it says, be thou prepared for thyself and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Right, so Russia is going to be guards to these nations, Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, and Turkey. They going against the Israel defense, which their allies over there in Western Asia, especially over there in Iraq and Syria. That's why I brought out that Isaiah 17 verse 1 future prophecy that's about to come past be fulfilled. So this is the book of Revelations down close out. So these are war, evil, and a pestilence that we said in our world today, so with 10 Greece. I think what was that earlier today over there in Alaska, we had a 5.6 earthquake. So these war, evil, and a pestilence, these earthquakes in diverse places, these famines, pests, and plagues, and these biblical signs that Heavenly Father showed us. So over 10 Greece, because we're living in biblical signs and signs times, like biblical prophecies are increasing. Hey, shout out to Aqua System. Hey, peace and blessings to your household. Hey, shout out to Aqua System. Shout out. This is Revelations 11 verse 14. It says, the second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. Right, so the second will pass, behold, the third will come quickly. So it's still going to come to pass and fulfill. So this is just a quick outside lesson that I want to bring out as of August the 8th, 2026. It's Saturday morning. So hopefully this is edifying. And I shalom to the brother Yuanathan, shalom to the brother Rebecca, as always. Hey, peace, blessing on your household. I say shalom to y'all. So with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakab Kadash. And the Heavenly Father, true name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, Ba'ashem, in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names in the ancient Paleo Hebrew. The Lashadash, the Holy Tongue. And I say, rock down to the elders and apostles of Akim, Akwaf. Until next time, I would say, Koresh, brother, and above all, and Shalom.